Okay, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to go over to utilities and actually show you how to set up your company information. This is all the things the way exactly tailor-made to run your particular car lot. It's very important that this is done right. Normally, our tech support people and our trainers will train you and help you remote in and set this up, but let me explain to you what all goes on in here. So you just simply click on utilities, and it will show you that says set up company information. Now, we actually going to have three different companies here. The first thing is the car company, and that's what we want to cover right now. We're going to click on car company. Again, the menu are very across the top. The first thing we're at, the general setup. We will be putting in the company corporation name. Now, the corporate name may be the same as your company name, but at my car lot, I had K&J Auto Sales Inc., DBA, and then Wayne's Auto Sales was the trade name. If this is true, you would put it in both places. If the corporate name and the company name is one and the same, you just put it under the company name here. Now, the dealer number, the company number, and the location number is numbers that we control and set up for you. Now, the address of your car lot. This is a physical address where it's located that's going to be printed on all of your documents. Then we've got the zip code here. This is a zip code for your car lot where it's located. And then when we put it in, the city that you're in will be here. And then we'll go over to the right. This is the state that your car lot is located in. Sure, you may sell cars in other states, but this is where your license is located. The county that you're in, and you may or may not have a county code. Then we go over to the right here, and this is if you have a mailing address that is different from your car company. What this means is if you wanted the state to mail you back the titles to a particular address, or if you wanted a different address for your customer to mail the payments in, it would all be here. If the physical address and the mailing address is the same, you only need to put it in the physical address and leave the other one blank. Okay, on the phone number, area code first, and then the number of where your car lot is actually located. The next thing is going to be your fax number, your sales tax number that's assigned to you by the Department of Revenue, your dealer ID number that's assigned to you by the state. You may have another dealer number as well. If you've got a federal ID number, it goes there. State inspection number, if you've got one. Now, the insurance company who you've got your liability insurance with, and policy number if you have those. Now, it's just simple. You just fill them in as self-explanatory. We go over to the right a little bit here using mailing address on state DMV motor vehicle forms. If you wanted that, you simply click here for doing that. Use mailing address on receipts. Normally you don't do that. Use mailing address on payment books. If you had payment books that you're giving to the customers and you want them to mail the payments to a different address than your physical address, you would click that. Now, if you have a lien holder code, you may or may not have one. This is where that lien holder code goes. Who to see for complaints. This is your name that goes on the back of the buyer's guide. Now, your credit manager, if you got somebody separate, name goes there. Now, your designated agent name, in case your state DMV requires you to have one. And then your location name if you need that. So this is pretty simple, but it's very important that it's filled in correctly. Now, to change your area code in your company information, this is where you would do it. You will be locked out of being able to change your name and your company information, in particular the state, because when we put the state here, it automatically in the program knows where to go get your forms goes with that state. So if you played with this, it would mess the forms up. Okay? Now we're going up and at the top, we're going to click on finance. The first thing is your dealer fee amount. Some people may call this a dealer fee, if you'll notice, where you can change this. Some people call it a documentation fee. Whatever your state wants you to call it, you put that in. Now, your title fee. This is what your normal title fee is for transferring the title into your customer's name. And this is your license tag fee that would be if you're charging the customer for a fee for the tag. Then your default type of deal. Now, this is important. if you'll click over here in the little arrow in the right side, you will notice here what is the deal that you do most frequently. It automatically populates it when you go to figure payments and everything. So if it's a buy here, pay here, pre-computed finance charges. Some states you do pre-compute, some you may do simple interest. I recommend to you now to do simple interest because when you're selling receivables and you're doing buy here, pay here, you get more money for your notes. Then if you're doing cash deal with no lien holders, if that's all you do most of, if you're doing an outside deal but we print the contract, or outside deal we will collect pickup payments. So what we are doing is determining from this how to set your program up. Now the pay period, you click on this. Does your customers, most of them want to pay weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, or monthly? What happens when we doing the deal and we actually putting the finance numbers in, we can change that at the time. My theory was at my buy here, pay here lot, I want to get paid when the customer gets paid. Then what is the maximum default interest rate that you want to charge? You may say 10%, 15, 20, what you want to do. Now, when you come down here, it says default number of periods. If you're doing buy here, pay here, and most of your customers, you're going to put them on 36 months, you would put 36 here. But at my lot, I always default it to a payment amount. Otherwise, if I wanted most of my customers going to pay me $70 a week, I would have set up the pay period to weekly, and I'd put 70 here. What I'm trying to do at the time I'm selling a car, I want to do the least amount of typing. Then you got start deal on. First go into selling a car. Do you want it to start on finance deal or do you want to sign on finance? Whichever one you want it to do. Okay. Now, allow other charges on finance screen. This is if you're going to sell warranties, or you're going to sell gap, or you're going to sell credit, life, disability insurance when you're doing deals. And if you're not, you wouldn't even have that turned on. Now, when we go down here to the brown, does year of car determine maximum interest rate? Now, in some states it does. In fact, most of them, Georgia, Florida, the states around here, most of those do that, and you would click that. But if you were like South Carolina, it does not, so that would not be clicked. Now, money limit. In Georgia, for instance, you can charge maximum of 28% interest, but if the amount financed is less than $5,000, this applies. If it's more than $5,000 you financing, it doesn't apply. Now, if you clicked on the maximum interest rates, what this is an add-on rate. Otherwise, a new vehicle is 10%. 1 and 2 year old is 13%. 3 and 4 year old car is 15%. 5 years and older is 17%. This is not the annual percentage rate. For instance, a 5 year and more, this is $170 per thousand per year. The annual percentage rate's between 28 and 30%. So on the contract, you must always show the annual rate, not the add-on rate. And I understand if you've never been in the finance business, you wouldn't know that. Now, if you're here and you want to just save and exit or not save. Now, we're going up to the next button here where it says taxes. In different states, you have sales tax different ways. For instance, in some of the states, you'll have a state rate, then a county rate, and a city rate, and sometime another tax. You would put in here, in each one of them, what that amount is. The total of these would be the amount that the customer would pay, but remember, we have to send this into the state, and I'm going to do a report at the end of the month that tells you how much county, state, city tax you had, so it'll help you do your sales tax report. In some states, like in Florida, you've got a cap on your county tax rate. In South Carolina, you got a tax rate on all of it, okay? Label on forms, state tax, county tax, city tax, school tax, whatever. You can change this as you like. This looks a little complicated, but it's not. Now, you're going to need to set up the different tax rates for whatever county that you're in. because when you sell a car, if you're 6% in your county, and in the county next to you over there where you're selling some cars is 7, you would charge 7% for the customer that lives in a 7% county. So down the right hand bottom corner here, you can set up your different tax rates for the different counties that you're going to be selling in. Since we have no idea what they're going to be, you would be required to keep up with these and change them when you need to be changed. Now, pay sales tax up front. In some states, we're allowed to pay the sales tax on the down payment and the payments as we collect them, which is called the cash method. But then in most states, you pay sales tax up front, which is called the accrual method, and you would know which one you do. Now, get credit on sales tax when car is repossessed. In most of the states, when you're paying it up front, if you repossess the car, the amount of principal that's left in the note would go on this report for you to deduct from what your total taxes is for the month. So you actually would get the money back when you repoed the car of them. Now, charge tax on dealer fee. And this is what you call your dock fee or your dealer fee. In all the states I know of, you do charge that. Out-of-state sales. Now, out-of-state, do you charge tax on them? When you, like for instance, if you were in Florida and you're selling in Georgia, do you want to charge Georgia rate? Now, charge tax on warranty. Some states warranty is taxable and some it's not. Out-of-state sales, charge Georgia tax on warranty, yes or no? Charge tax on trade-in. Some states you do, most of them you still don't have to. When you sell to a customer in another county, do you want the option of using the tax rate in the other county? In most counties, you're going to be required to do that. You pay sales tax in the county rate where the customer lives. Now, if the customer is from another state, do you want the option of figuring sales tax based on the other state's sales tax rate? Now, you can call the other state, find out what the tax rate is, and do that if you'd like.